Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I wanted to share a little and quick energy update today. Well, at least I'll try to make it quick, but I can't promise that. I have intentions to do things quickly, but sometimes I go longer than expected, and that's just something I'm working on. Okay. Working on it. I wanted to share a few things before we get into this video, this episode for you. Firstly, I have an incredible episode that is also airing this week with my friend, Katie Jane. She is Encoded Frequencies by Katie Jane. Some of you listening to this may have already experienced her or know her. She's a dear friend of mine, and I am really excited for this episode, this interview to come out. Another thing I wanted to share that if you guys are listening to this before, a little Black Friday deal going on. I have my Akashic Clearing and Activation event live recording guided journey available for purchase. I have it on sale for a little Black Friday deal that you can go to the link in the show notes. So I hope that you guys can experience this. I feel like this goes really great right now with what's coming through for this energy update. So let's get into it. I'm just going to take a deep breath. I'm actually in the middle of moving. So this is like my last couple episodes, videos in this little space. We're literally moving this week. And I have, if you're wondering what's in my hand, I have my daughter's fluorite crystal. I borrowed it for this episode. She's at her little preschool. She picked it out over the weekend. We had a little Christmas fair at one of her old school. And she picked out this fluorite, which is so great and this one's really calming. It's really great to balance out the fluctuations of the mind, to really bring calming and clarity, like mental clarity. I'm really feeling, especially with this one, just a really clarifying, grounding, and calming energy, fluorite. So it can kind of calm down mental activity. So if you see where we're going in this episode, I'm also like moving. So could use a little bit more grounding and calming and being at peace while I share this message with you guys. I have my cacao here as well with a little bit of cordyceps mushroom in it. I like to share a little bit about what I kind of do behind the scenes. I find cordyceps when I first connected to, I was just connecting with this crystal, right? And I feel like this crystal has a lot of messages for us unexpectedly. But cacao is so incredibly heart nurturing, heart healing, heart activating, very creative, really great for meditation to drop in. I mean, there's so many different things that cacao can bring you. But I also put a bit of cordyceps in it to help with a little bit of energy. Cordyceps, when I connected with the energy of the mushroom, it's really fascinating because it was telling me that it was really great for motivation. The mushroom was saying to me itself, it's like, this can help you with motivation. So if you're feeling like kind of like unmotivated or stuck or stagnant, cordyceps energetically, I'm speaking what the mushroom told me, is really great for motivation. Also some physical properties to it. It is great for endurance, stamina, energy, it's a very masculine energy. So it can really help you, give you that little boost if you need a little bit of encouragement. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Unexpectedly, this crystal is saying a lot to me right now. We can really communicate with anything. And everything is available. Everything has really a soul. So I feel like let's get into this episode. The message that really wanted to come through was related to emotional healing, emotional breakthrough. So there's a lot of breakthrough energies. And I feel like there's this need to surrender to a healing that's ready to move through you. Surrendering and being open for a healing energy that's ready to move through you. Sometimes we can get caught up when things are coming up, layers are surfacing, we're going into it. We can get caught up in trying to figure out what it is when really we just need, which can kind of like block the energy that wants to really just freely flow out of you. But there is an energy, a healing experience, maybe even an activating experience that's ready to move through you. It's ready to move up and out of you. And so there's a need for you to give yourself the emotional space, let it all come up, show you kind of what's underneath the surface, because I feel like I'm not really I know it's Mercury retrograde. I know that this energy is really going to shift in December 1st. The energy of December, I'm just going to share with you that episode, the energy update will be coming out, but I'm really happy about December. And I feel like I'm sharing this message with you right now at such a timely moment because it's literally right around the corner. You know, there is a really deep need for emotional healing and breakthrough energy. And so if you can sit with your heart, sit with this energy and let this experience, let this healing energy that is surrounding you, let peace really be your new norm. And so I feel like there's a lot of healing. There's a lot coming up that's kind of underneath the surface that is being really unconscious, that is just rising up to be cleared. You need to really like go into it and listen to what's underneath this story, which is a powerful time of a breakthrough because the story is really coming up loud and clear for you to hear the story so that you can shift out of the story. It's an old program. You're kind of resorting to an old template that doesn't need to be there anymore. There's a lot of underlying things that have been underneath the surface that have been kind of maybe blocking things from coming in, or just, you know, things are really coming to the surface for you to recognize it and not to like buy into the story in any way, but just for an opportunity to see where you're still operating so that we can release this old template, because this is an old template that is gone. It's no longer there. It's no longer valid. Okay. So there's a new template that is here. It's installing, but there's this part of you that keeps going back into this default old template when we don't need this old template anymore. It's not serving you anymore. It's not even there. It's ready to be completely cleared and released. And it's time to really let that old identity and energy of that go because it's not yours to carry. Some of this energy that you're feeling is actually not yours to carry, but you keep going back into this experience that just wants to be released out of you altogether. Another thing that's been coming through is that there's going to be like a breakthrough of, I think, really quick breakthroughs of misunderstandings. Maybe you're in a bit of something and then there's like this spiral of misunderstandings that are happening. And I feel like instantly you're going to be shown like the truth of what that really is, where you're still operating from this old place of like worth, or where you're still creating this story around how others view you. Or maybe it's from this old default setting that was like a protection mechanism for you, but you're going to see how your own thoughts in many ways have led to great misunderstandings, in the sense that like you're able to see like, oh, I was creating this story in my head. I was creating this whole thing and I really was getting in the way of receiving love or connection. These are my walls that I have up for in front of other people. And I feel like there's going to be a breakthrough of like where you have been, where your old programming has been coming up, leading to great misunderstandings. So maybe you created a story around a situation or someone, a projection that is coming from an old place where you tend to wall up or you protect yourself. And it's maybe you let that story run for a while, but it's what's happening is there's really quick breakthroughs happening to show you, oh, this is a misunderstanding. Oh, I maybe had this, this was coming from my own thoughts, my overthinking, it's actually not true. And I feel like it's a gift for you to see how you've been misunderstanding, or you've been, it really comes back to this energy of worth and being lovable. And I feel like there are people that are here to reflect that love back to you, but there are stories that you are creating in your own mind that has been like your own worst enemy, essentially, is you. So I feel like there's going to be breakthroughs in that, where you're going to see where you've been overthinking, or you've been going into old patterning, or you've been misunderstanding. There's been like some kind of misunderstanding, or you've been, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're going to get some kind of clarity around that really instantly, where you're going to feel like, oh, I went into a story. Whoa, that was wild. I went into that. Now I see where I'm operating from, but this is actually not true. Maybe it was true in the past with old people, old key players that were, part of that, but it's actually no longer true for where you're going and who's there. So I feel like you're going to get a lot of really big breakthroughs and emotional healing and clearing when it comes to this. So sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. Sometimes we are the ones that are creating these stories out of like an old safety mechanism, or maybe it was an old story that was once true from the past, but it's no longer true for you now. And so what a gift it is to be shown that like, oh no, like this is a bit of a misunderstanding. It's a story that you're creating. And, likely, when you're in a story and it feels really strong. And I get the sense that there's a lot of gripping in your body. Like you're maybe feeling a lot of gripping, but what that gripping is, which I will do I'll channel a meditation on this, a healing experience. But what it is, it's an old energy. It's an old template that just wants to be released. This is like an old version of yourself that has created so much safety around this, but it's ready to be let go. It's a stuck energy that wants to be released. So can you relax to receive this healing experience that wants to move through you? If you guys want, it's on my Substack, or you guys can purchase the meditation. If you're in AYC, activate your channel. In my intro to channeling, you already have access to this. But on my site, I'll link the show notes. There is a meditation that could be really helpful to dissolve old energy in order to receive. I also do have a brand new rose quartz temple heart healing, heart activation meditation that is really potent and quite beautiful that could help heal with all matters of what we're talking about today. But there's these moments throughout the day, deep emotional breakthroughs. There's deep insights that are leading to big healing, like subtle moments, maybe even that lead to big breakthroughs or a big emotional healing that is ready to move through you. So noticing throughout the day when you are going into fear, when you're going into worry, when you're going into the old story, when you're going into the misunderstanding that come from an old pattern, not like an intuition. There is a different energy. It might feel very anxious and chaotic, but that is the inner turmoil that is being built from like this disconnect between the mind and the body, right? The body wants to release this and the mind is going into a story. So notice throughout the day, because I feel like this week that we're in is where this experience is ready to be cleared and move through you. But notice throughout the day when maybe you're walking along and everything's good, but then something triggers it and you go deep into the worry or the fear or an anxious thought. Usually a lot of this place that you go to is from a place of low self-worth, or it's an old protection mechanism and it's not the truth. So I do want to share that with you. These are the walls and the layers that are ready to shift, and they're ready to shift quite quickly. Like I see this shifting as we close out November and move into December. Like this energy is ready to lift and shift quite quickly. The other message I want to share is that it can be really difficult for you to get through to someone, for someone's guides to get through to them, or your higher self to get through to you when you are, or anyone, any help to get through to you when you are so deep in a story. When someone is so deep in victim mentality or in that old story, it's really hard for people, the divine, your higher self, or even you to get through to other people when they are so deep in a story or an old victim story or mentality, or they're in the thick of it. Sometimes it can be really hard to get through. But what I'm sharing with you is that your future self wants to shake you, and so do I, wants to shake you out of it, because literally it's like right in front of you it's there, and it's just this moment that you need to shake yourself out of this. And this moment is asking you to just stretch your faith and your trust just a little bit longer, like a capital T. Just stretch that faith. See if you can hold the faith, the trust a little bit more, because what I'm seeing, and this is December stuff, is really big, like things are starting to come in. So when you're, a child, it reminds me, I have children. So when a child goes into a temper tantrum, but it's like a misunderstanding because you're going to give them that thing, but they're just like having a misunderstanding. And then once you tell them, the tantrum stops. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh no, we are like, this thing's right in front of you. That's what it makes me feel like. And sometimes you have to, sometimes the pity party needs to have a time limit, which is a really big message. We have to give our pity party a time limit. Say you want to go into it for like 24 hours. Okay. Give yourself 12 hours, 24 hours. 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever it is, give yourself a time limit on your pity party, on the victim, on all the stories, on going into it all, the shit that doesn't want to come with you, where you're going. We are being asked to really rise above the story because there's a deep emotional breakthrough that's happening in the underlying current. And you have no idea what's literally right in front of you. And the reason why we need to sometimes stretch the faith and trust is because there's so much right in front of you that you like literally can't see. And maybe you've been holding this faith for a long time, but you have to just hold it a little bit more. And you've been given clues, you've been given all the things, and now this healing experience wants to come through you. So we have to be open to surrendering to this experience that's ready to move through you. So we have to give, I'm going to give you some tough love. We got to give that pity party a little bit of a time limit. It's time for us to rise above the story because there's so much right in front of you. There's so many blessings right in front of you. For some of you, maybe you are having to be the anchor in the eye in the midst of the storm that is happening around you. Maybe you're having to hold the field and there's a lot going on around you, but it's not actually your storm, right? It's not your storm. Where's this underlying part of you that still feels like you are responsible for other people, that you need to overly give by going into other people's stuff to fix it for them? Okay, that's a worth thing. That's a receiving thing. So when you feel like you need to go into someone else's storm to be the fixer, can you see if you can pause and take a deep breath from that real unconscious pattern of needing to go into someone else's baggage and storm for them because it's not your energy to carry. We are not responsible for other people's stuff. We can hold the light, you can hold the field, but you're not responsible for other people. And you can't do it for them what they're not willing to do for themselves. And this was a huge theme around 2025. I feel like some of you do not need to accept responsibility for someone else's storm. And so when you are on the receiving end, so say you are the one that this resonates, like say there's a lot going on around you, but it's actually not you. It's not your storm. It's really hard to help someone who's not ready, okay? Or who is really obsessed with keeping that story alive. You're not responsible. It's not for you to take on. So there are some people who benefit from the story. They benefit from that energy. They benefit from being the victim. Somehow there's a benefit to them. And it would be very dysregulating to let go of that story. So some people aren't ready to hear it. They're not ready to heal it. They're not ready. They may not even listen. So it may fall on like ears that aren't ready to listen. So you may say something, but they're not hearing it. It's literally going right through them because they're not ready, or a part of them needs this story. They need this as a way it's kept them safe. It's part of their identity. It's part of their story. So who would they be without that story, right? Who would we be without some of our limiting beliefs and some of our limiting stories that we tell ourselves? So if you are that, sometimes you have to pull away. You have to do what you need to do, but sometimes you do have to pull away and give that a time limit of how long you're going to be in it rescuing others, because you're just depleting yourself. There is a need also to give from a place of plenty. So there's a need to replenish your energy and your resources before giving to others. You no longer need to be in the energy of scarcity and survival. You no longer need to be in that energy. That's an old template that's gone. So there is a need to replenish your energy as we close out this month, to replenish your resources, to replenish your energy. And that is also like checking out where you're at. Where are you today or tomorrow, this week? Like, do you have the energy to give to someone else or to be there for someone else? Or are you doing it? Are you emptying your tank because you're actually quite empty and you're picking up the phone, or you're trying to help and rescue a million people? But it's like there is a need for replenishment and to give from a place of plenty, because a lot of you, even if you're going through your own inner storm, there's a lot of inner turmoil rising up, or maybe it's someone else's, or maybe it's a both. There is a need to give to yourself, to replenish yourself, because right in front of you is a lot of shifts, okay? And it's a deeper embodiment and purpose and mission work where you're going. And so I'm sharing this with you now is like rest and replenish your energy and your resources for where you're going next, right in front of you. I hope that this energy update really helps. It does feel like the energy of the week. Obviously, when you listen to this is the perfect moment for you, but it does feel like this energy of the week as we close out November and we step into December. I'm really excited for the energy update for December, you guys. So if any of this helped, to really anchor it in, I recommend doing the Akashic clearing and activation to rewrite your story, rewrite your script, clear out old soul contracts. This is great to do as we finish off the year. It's on sale right now until December 1st, which is the Monday. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. You have lifetime access to it. And if you haven't joined Activate Your Channel, intro to channeling, I hope that you guys join. There's payment plans. It is self-paced. You can literally join at any time. I will be announcing a live coaching and Q&A call to bring the community together. So I am excited for you guys to experience it. Some people are having some really powerful breakthroughs and experiences. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will speak to you in the next one. Have a great day.